Hello and welcome. My name is Rich Sands with TV Guide Magazine, and it is a thrill to be riding down the highway of Hall H with all these Supernatural fans here today. So we're going to have a great panel, and I'm going to start by introducing them. First is your showrunner, Mr. Jeremy Carver. This next gentleman just had a birthday a couple of days ago. You know him as Sam Winchester or sometimes Moose. Jared Padalecki. This next man did not have a birthday 2 days ago, but you'll also be glad to see him. You know him as Dean Winchester. Jensen Ackles. Next up, he's making his Comic-Con debut, so please be gentle, for executive producer Bob Singer. And next, we have everyone's favorite angel, Castiel, Misha Collins. And of course, what Supernatural panel would be complete without the King of Hell, Crowley, Mark A. Shepard. All right, Jeremy, I want to start with you. Just the big question after the season finale, cliffhanger, angels falling. What's a world like with fallen angels everywhere? What's the tease for season 9?
That's an excellent question, Rich. I think one of the things that's going to be really exciting this season is that we're going to learn pretty quickly that a world full of fallen angels is pretty much a free-for-all. What happened?
Sit down.
Free for all. You were saying, Jeremy?
Sorry, I was putting myself to sleep there. I was saying, gosh, I don't know what I was saying. With angels on Earth, I think we're going to see it's not one unified body. We've got lots of angels out there with lots of different agendas, and many are feeling lost and scared and vengeful. A world of fallen angels is a dirty, bloody, scary, and in some ways very human world, and we're really, really excited to explore that.
Before we ask the next show question, Bob, I just wanted to ask you about your first Comic-Con. What's the experience been like, and what took you so long to get here?
Yeah. Generally, I've been in Vancouver directing when Comic-Con is on, and they say, well, you can get from Vancouver to San Diego. And I say, well, I'm not as young as I used to be, and the travel could really hurt. But this year I didn't, and it was a lot of cajoling and I believe a weapon. No, it's been an eye-opener, and I don't know what took me so long, but it's really quite something, and I'm very happy to be here.
Yay!
We're happy to have you. And this is for Jeremy and Bob, but Jared and Jensen, if you guys want to chime in too. Just last season, Sam and Dean, they had their troubles with each other, but they had that really nice moment in the finale. What's their relationship going to be like in season 9? Where are they when we get back?
Jeremy?
Well, I mean, I'll just quickly say, one of the interesting things about the end of last season was that for the first time in a long time, the brothers chose each other and their love for each other over what was sort of the season-long quest. They chose to leave the gates of hell open in exchange for saving each other, and that has left them stronger than ever, but also has created a tremendous amount of fallout for them to be dealing with, particularly at the beginning of this season. Because the brothers are walking into a world this year where all the normal sort of constructs of heaven and hell aren't the same anymore. the king of hell, as you saw, is no longer in residence in hell, and heaven is not running as heaven normally ran. So I keep on going back to the term free for all.
Free for all. Thank you. No, obviously, I think Jeremy and Bob know more than Jensen and myself do, but as to kind of piggyback on what Jeremy said, we did choose each other and to keep fighting the fight together. Thankfully, we have fans that want us to keep fighting the fight. And before we pass over it, thanks, guys. Y'all are awesome. I don't even know. Y'all really kick ass. And I don't think any of us thought we'd be up here in season 9 with people still interested, so thank you. But on that note, we'll keep on fighting the fight together, and we see Sam and Dean kind of figuring out how to, in this free-for-all world where we have the king of hell living in our dungeon and angels walking all over the place, we're really going to need each other more than ever.
Misha, how will Castiel be changed by being human, and how will it affect his relationships with Dean and Sam?
Whoa. It's a remarkable shift for Castiel, because Castiel, prior to the beginning of this season, has been equipped with all sorts of powers and capacities that made him a very useful tool to the brothers. He could pop in, and for instance, if they needed to go back in time 20 or 30 years, he could facilitate that. Now he can pop in and, basically fold laundry. So there's a shift in the dynamic there, and I think that for Castiel's arc as a character this season, it is going to be an immensely rich terrain to explore. Now he's really down in the dirt and the filth of being a human and getting to experience what it's like to actually eat, and then what happens to the food after you eat it.
There's a great bathroom scene
There's
with
a
Castiel.
really, really great bathroom scene.
It's a 3-episode arc.
Mark,
What?
I have a question for you.
Oh, sure.
That scene in the finale where Crowley had that breakdown.
Did you cry?
I did. It was pretty intense. But I don't trust Crowley.
You don't
I trust
say.
you. I trust you. But I don't trust Crowley. How sincere was that?
Don't answer that. No.
I think the fun part for me is that whatever happened to Crowley at the end of season 8 has had a profound effect on him, whether he likes it or not. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best way of putting it. And hopefully we'll go on a little journey to find out what kind of effect that might have had on him. Is that a good way to put it?
Well done.
Thanks.
Bob has spoken.
I had solicited a lot of questions from Twitter over the last couple of weeks, and one of the things that kept coming up a lot was people wanted to know more about the Men of Letters, and what are we going to find out about them and their bunker in season 9, or how much of a part of season 9 will they be?
Well, the Men of Letters, well, for one thing, it's in 8 seasons, it's the first actual permanent set we've had, so we're thrilled about that. It's also a treasure trove of information. There's rooms in the Men of Letters we haven't explored yet. It's a springboard for stories. But interestingly, I think that the Men of Letters for Dean is a home. He's got the memory foam mattress. He's hanging posters. He says it's as close to home as we're going to get. For Sam, it's a workplace and doesn't think of it as home, but is very much comfortable in the academic pursuits that one can follow in the men of letters, and that's something that we'll be exploring even more fully this season.
And speaking of Twitter, recently Jim Beaver tweeted that he's coming back.
As an actress or something? What is it? It's some actress he's coming back as.
So I'm wondering if there's anything you can tell us when that might happen or anything at all.
I think Jim also tweeted that he was coming back in a way that you wouldn't guess or wouldn't expect, and that's pretty much how I would leave it.
An inside story of that is, though, Jim tweets those things before we actually have any plans to bring him back, and then we're like duty-bound to bring him back because it's out there in the ether. So, but we'll figure something out.
And speaking of coming back, Charlie Bradbury is a very popular character on the show. And everyone loves Felicia Day. Is there a chance we might see her again this season?
I'm not sure how these guys feel about it, but I know when I'm directing and they're doing scenes with Felicia, I don't get the sense that she's really given you very much.
Ooh.
And as a director, you're constantly waiting for her to get out of the makeup trailer. She gets on stage, she doesn't really know her lines.
She's mean to everybody. We can't look at her in the eyes.
Not that Felicia Day. I was talking about somebody else.
Okay, so I was in another hall entirely. Thank you. But I kind of am at Comic-Con everywhere all the time. I heard you, Bob, and I flew over here. Thank you. Hi, everybody. And Bob, I don't have a lot of power in the world, but at Comic-Con a little bit, and I think you might have a cosplay Deadpool take you out later in the bathroom. Just saying.
Obviously, Felicia will be back. We love her. We have big plans for her this year, and she is a delight, and she knows I love her.
Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome, honey.
Is that just because I showed up? Because actually, you didn't, this wasn't planned. I'm not kidding. Oh, anyway, I am thrilled to be back. I mean, obviously, this is the first time I've been in Hall H, actually, ever, so I'm a little bit kind of excited. But I think it's always amazing when you have a gift of a character that you just want to play all the time. And I'm so blessed to be working with these, very amazing men with excellent hair.
Felicia, Charlie is one of the few female characters on this show that the fans really have embraced. That being said, what do you think it is about Charlie that really has made her so beloved and that everyone wants her to keep coming back?
I think that Charlie, and this is something I really believe in truly as well, that Charlie is a girl, a woman, who happens to be a geek, but that's not who she is. She's not defined by being a geek. She's a person with amazing past, and she happens to love geeky things. And I think there's a trap when a lot of TV shows or movies create geek characters. They create a cliche of a geek. They're like, oh, it's a geek character. And then they don't go any deeper than that. I feel like Charlie is a real person, and she just happens to love the things she loves. And I think it's really hard to create a character like that. It takes a lot of more work and just storytelling. And I just think it's amazing what has been created here, especially for a girl character. So I thank you guys. Thank you.
If I could jump in, I think a lot of credit for that also goes to some folks sitting over there in the audience. Most of the Supernatural writing staff is sitting, I think, right over here, so they deserve a big round of applause also.
Jensen,
Hi.
how you doing? Dean, he's been to hell and back, purgatory, and everywhere in between. So what keeps this guy ticking? How does he stay so strong and also stand by his brother when his brother doesn't always deliver the way he wants him to?
Yeah, his brother's pretty lame.
It is very trying, I will say that. Hi, guys. Hi. You know, I'm sitting here listening to the answers that all these guys are giving, and it's funny because we don't just sit around and talk about storylines like you think we do, or ask each other questions like this. So, yes, Dean has been through quite a lot over the past 176, 5, 3, 4, 20. Sure. I always defer to Jared for the numbers because he's a numbers guy, much like his character.
I think we're on 173 right now.
170. See, I knew he'd know. 173. Anyway, over the course of many hours of television, Dean has been through quite a lot, and you know, I think what keeps him kind of motivated or keeps him pushing on is I think it's his sense of duty to fight the good fight. It's his duty to his brother, his family, and it's kind of it's what he signed on to do. And sometimes he doesn't want to do it, but he does it anyway because he knows that that's what he does, and that's why he was put on the earth. And I think that when he got back from Purgatory last season, which I really liked that storyline. I was sad to see Purgatory go. But I think when Dean got back, there was a real sense of clarity. That's why he was there, was to fight that fight and to be alongside his brother and driving that beast of an automobile down the highway and rocking out to some true rock and roll. That's so yeah. What was the question?
That's good.
Okay, thanks.
And Jared,
And pie? Yeah.
And bye.
And Jared, on the flip side, what keeps Sam going when, I mean, they had that great moment at the end of the season, but he definitely felt the weight of his brother's expectations this past season. So what keeps him going?
I think that's probably a two-part answer because there's what the writers write for me and what they have keep Sam going, and then Jared as an actor, what I try to bring to Sam and to the amazing words that are in front of me on the page. I try to make Sam, he always tries to fight, the good fight. He really tries to do what he thinks is right. And we always play with this, the road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of quote. And so sometimes he kind of errs, but that's the beauty of this show. And to talk about what Felicia said, these guys aren't really defined by their actions or their interests. They're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to mirror reality. And no one has all the answers. So Sam's trying to do what he can do. And sometimes he messes up and Dean picks him up or Charlie picks him up or Mark pushes him down. So Sam's just trying to do what he thinks is right. I think he's accepted that his life's not going to be normal, finally. So he's trying to make the world a better place.
Okay, on Twitter, the favorite question I got was, now that Kaz is human, is he going to get to learn how to drive the Impala?
Nope.
He's just kidding. Of course he is.
No.
He will. He will.
No.
It'll happen.
All righty.
By the way, just so you know,
Crystal clear?
while the Impala is obviously a character in the show, and it's obviously Dean's car, Jensen himself has it's almost a sick proprietary thing about this car, and Misha the actor's not going to drive it, and Castiel the character's not going to drive it.
You can't even look at it.
Not going to happen.
I don't like when the Teamsters drive it to set. I'm like, Frank, get out of the car, buddy. Give me the keys. I'll turn it around. I'm just saying.
All right. First question.
I'll start. I have thought about it. I don't think it's right for me to do currently. Maybe in a couple seasons, I'll kind of usually. Our breaks always seem so short that I really try to make the most of every second I have with my family, and we live in Texas, and so we have, go Austin. So between visiting family and spending time with each other, and now we got a little kiddo, so inevitably I fly back to Vancouver at the last possible second so I can just kind of maximize my time, and so I'm not yet willing to give away the extra 2 weeks to come up and be working just yet. Misha?
I have two very small children as well, and they keep me up at night. So I'm looking forward to an opportunity to spend some time away from them up in Vancouver, directing and getting some sleep. So I'm actually, I think I'm planning to direct an episode number 17, or should I say 917, this year. So. And I thank the Bob and Jeremy for giving me the chance to do this, and apologize in advance for the product.
I'm sure the product will be great, but if you think you actually get to sleep when you're directing.
Oh no.
They don't let me do anything.
They won't let me do anything.
They won't let me do anything.
I just thought you were going to ask us what Jensen smells like, because a lot of fans ask me that. Yeah. And I always say coriander and leather.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a potpourri-ish scent.
It's nice.
Thanks, Felicia.
You're quite welcome.
I said it was nice.
Shut your mouth.
I think half the fans in line just left because that was their question. Okay, next.
You know, I'm not a method kind of act. First off, thank you. And all the fans were so kind on Twitter about that episode. That was a really fun, the way it was scheduled. It was me and Shepard in that church for, was it 2 days or 3 days or something? 3 days. Yeah. And so there really was a progression. It's nice, sometimes when you're shooting, so often it's like, oh, we're gonna film the last scene of the show, and then an hour later we're filming like skipping around town, and so it's really difficult to kind of build up that way. And I was saying, I'm not a method actor by any means, but I kind of, and Jensen will vouch for me, it kind of took over me for some reason.
No, it didn't.
But I was even, I mean, even Jensen came up, he was like, man, you know.
Chill out.
Chill out, essentially, because it really, I really kind of, it was such great material that I really wanted to sink my teeth into it, and it kind of took over. And so for several days, I think all the angst just came from having to be on set with Shepard, you know? Just kidding, he did a great job. I mean, it was so fun to sit there, and I've had this chance with Jensen a lot to go play off another actor that I really respect, but to be there with Shepard also, and he brought so much to his credit. I mean it. He did a great job, and I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed. I was like, I didn't think he could act. But no, so to have the material and then another actor who's just doing an amazing freaking job, it just really, I don't know where it came from, but I think the material brings it out. That sounds cheesy, but when you're reading something and kind of really getting into it, your mind goes to that place, and it felt really good. And then obviously, Jensen and I have worked together like that for years and years and years, and so when it kind of apexed like that, it just happened. It was really awesome. Thank you.
Next.
Yeah, you probably deal with that more than I do. Dean tends to stay Dean no matter what situation he's in. He generally is just angry. But back several seasons ago in The French Mistake, I remember when they called and said that they kind of, that's the one and only time we've gotten brought into a conceptualized meeting about a story, and they just kind of wanted to hear what we thought of using our real personality, our real names, and this and that. And I said, as long as Dean never deviates from Dean, then you can put us anywhere you want.
As long as you make Jared and Jensen huge douches and Sam and Dean stay the same.
So, I think Jared deals with that with Sam a lot more, the altering of the character, and he does a really good job of it, I think, and they keep throwing him curveballs, and he keeps pulling him to the fence. So, I'm kind of fortunate enough that I just kind of stay the course.
I have had to do it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I guess I am the one that's kind of, and Misha's done it a few. It's really difficult, but it's really fun. My favorite is from it was French Mistake, where it was like Jared and Jensen playing Sam and Dean, playing Jared and Jensen playing Sam and Dean. So that was kind of the ultimate, like, whoever gets to do that. I don't think there's ever been another show on Earth. Yeah, Jared and Jensen playing Sam and Dean, playing Jared and Jensen. Okay. But as far as like Soulless Sam and Lucifer Sam and Evil Sam and like Dying Sam, there are lots of Sams. And that's awesome, because otherwise it would just be, it's the same thing kind of over and over. I'm so grateful that I get to do it. Thank you guys, because it's so much fun.
You're like, it'd be just like playing Dean.
Can I
No,
just
I
say-
really enjoy it.
I think that's really part of why we're sitting up here right now, 9 seasons in, because the show, you guys as writers are constantly taking risks and changing things up and making it dynamic and interesting, and we're never watching the same episode twice, and that's an amazing achievement after 173.
Yeah, y'all never watch the same episode twice, right?
You don't. No one watches it twice. No, but I mean, it's what keeps it interesting. Not only to watch, but also for us to be on. It's what makes it a fun place to come to work. Is that there's always something new to deal with.
This will be the last question so that we have time for the gag reel. So,
He's the king. It's good to be the king. No, seriously, we gave Crowley that particular skill because he had worked his way so far up the demon ladder to be the capo de tutti de capo of demons that's one of the perks you get when you're with the boss.
It's like when
really as
Voldemort
simple
learned to
as that.
fly.
Really?
I got a high five.
I just got to say, I love the costume, so I'm really impressed. I think that's great. The blood pattern matches exactly what I was wearing.
That's awesome.
okay, thanks very much. Thank you all for coming out here today. Thanks for this amazing panel. Supernatural Season 9 coming back to the CW this fall.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.